Hi, everyone. Today we're going to do a client interview with my client Mo, who has completed the Neuro Mind Mastery Program consisting of 3 months. Welcome, Mo, and really
Hey
appreciate
Farah,
you on. Yeah,
thank you. Thanks for having me on the show.
of course. So, could you maybe tell our listeners the challenges that you were facing before we worked together? Like you were looking for someone to help you with some specific things, and what motivated you to seek out that help and eventually for us to work together?
So for me, my biggest concern was I was in a situation in my life where I had to make some critical decisions, and I've never been through those experiences in life. And I had to decide to move on, and how to move on was the question. And because of all this new experiences, there was a lot of burden on me, and I was lost for how I wanted to go ahead with my life. And yeah, I kept looking on the internet, kept looking at different consultants, searching online, Instagram, and then I landed on your page, and I started going through the content, and it kind of connected with me, the message you had there. So I wanted to take a chance on, maybe work this the neuroscience way, maybe give it a try, because prior to working with you, I did work with at least one other therapist, and we went through a few sessions, but it didn't really get me anywhere. So yeah, that's how I came about.
Yeah, and we talked like for a bit on Instagram before we actually started to work together, and
Right.
because we were trying to get to know each other, will we be a fit to work together? You need to have the right mindset for growth and change. And I remember
Yeah.
you came to, yeah, also like you were watching my stories, you were watching my content, and uh, and we were talking because I was also trying to understand your challenges. Could I potentially help you with this? And I remember us trying a hypnosis session one time together. Um, and you never tried
Yeah.
that before. And yeah, and you were feeling a bit like nervous because it was something new and the brain doesn't like changes. So, what was going through your head? Like you had to try something new like that, like trying a hypnosis session. How was that for
Yeah.
you?
So for me, um, I've just seen hypnosis on, on TV, mm, YouTube, things like that. Um, I was very skeptical about it because, what we see is what we know. And I was like, is she trying to do some magic, or how is she going to get into your head? Things
She
like that.
could.
Things like that. But I was willing to take that chance, and I think, like you said, based on our initial conversations through Instagram, and having that initial touch point helped build a little bit of faith, which is why I took that chance. Right, all right, you know what? Maybe we'll try this. And obviously, I had the desire as well to move on, to move forward, to make
Yes.
things better for myself. And
Yeah.
I guess a change is part of growing. So I needed to do something different to make me heal. And yeah, so once we got into that, it was feeling. How do I say, it was feeling more new in the sense I didn't know what to expect, or what outcome would be getting at the end of the session or through the session, because navigating through the hypnosis itself, again, all I know is the what I've seen on screens or TV. So it was a very new experience, and I think with your guidance, I was able to navigate, and there were some revelations. Your voice guidance, I was able to picture myself in those situations, and I think I did not exactly have what you were guiding me through, in the sense what
No.
and it was just whatever was coming in my head was what I was seeing. I don't
That's how
know
it's
if it
supposed
was,
to be.
yeah, I don't know if it was good or bad. Um, yeah, but it was, like, how do I say? It was a very, very new experience, and yeah,
Okay,
you can,
so
yeah,
yeah,
go ahead.
so you're seeing what your subconscious mind is basically showing you. So there's nothing wrong or right. That's what I always tell clients. Like, I'm
Mm,
merely just guiding you to find some answers, to heal some trauma, to remove some blockages, or to get some clarity, right? So your subconscious mind is basically making the pictures inside of you. And yeah, so you didn't see the things that I was guiding on, but that doesn't mean that it was wrong. It was still
mm,
like some messages out there that we had to interpret, like what does this mean, and we spend a lot of time like trying to understand that.
mm,
Um so yeah, like in the movies and I don't know, on different channel, hypnosis is like people are like floating on in air, or things are happening. It's not like the woo woo, it's like, no, I would say it's like a calm kind of meditational state. That's what I would say, the
mm,
closest you can get to it. And yeah, so there's no right and wrong. And we tried hypnosis, yeah, and then basically most of the time we were actually coaching together.
right,
Yeah, I was
yeah,
coaching you, giving you some tools in like having some new habits in place, so you could actually like spend some time with yourself, because for so many years you were always putting others first and not yourself.
that's right.
And that had to be ended. You had to prioritize yourself, and we talked a lot about that.
Exactly. And sometimes I felt like, I guess up until your session, I wasn't aware that I had to do that in a sense that I needed to take time for myself. I wasn't really self-aware of that. I didn't realize the importance of treating myself right, or I didn't realize the importance of having that discipline to reinforce treating ourselves right in terms of things like the amount of rest we get, the things we need to do to our bodies to make it fit to feel healthy and things of that sort.
You started the
uh,
neuro walk.
yeah, yes, exactly, yeah. So those things I think I've always taken for granted. I've taken myself for granted in a sense. I've
Yeah.
always thought my body could take all that, or my inner self, my emotions, my conscious could take all of what I was going through. It was just, it would pass away. But I didn't know that, we had to address each of these concerns, and we needed to work our way through, and eventually, we'll feel better. Um, yeah, so these things, I don't think although I have been with a therapist before, like, I don't think I've realized that up until working with you through these sessions. So I found that really valuable.
I'm really glad to hear that. Yeah, because once we are aware or conscious, we can actually change things for the better, right? If we're not aware of it, how are we going to do it? And this is how people heal. Like, we have to be conscious, we have to sit with the pain, we have to feel it, acknowledge it, and this is how we can make decisions. So this is also something we worked on, like the pain acknowledgement, making decisions, all those things we also talked a lot about in the coaching. And we talked about how the brain reacts to certain things. And basically what happens is that the brain does not like changes. Even when we're in an uncomfortable situation, it just likes to
Mm,
keep you there, like it's keeping you down basically. And
yeah.
every time you're trying to move forward, it's like pushing you again back. So
Mm,
it takes a lot of courage, and to keep on going even when you cannot see the results. You still have to push yourself for the long term benefit of the new changes. And
mhm.
we talked a lot about that, and you made some changes. So I'm very proud of you for also like doing all of that. um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I wanted to add on here. So the other thing I was thinking as well, like while we were talking about this, is uh, myself personally. Um, it took a lot to ask for help or seek for the right guidance,
Yeah.
And again, that in itself comes back to the change topic. Like you said, I was in my zone, didn't want to come out or didn't want to seek out for help. So that is a change in itself. Trying to seek the right guidance to to better yourself,
Hmm.
and that I think would be a big challenge or a first step for a lot of other people who are out there who don't want, like whatever issues they're going through in their life, who don't want to
True.
seek for fear of anything, for fear of anything. It could be. Yeah, I just wanted to add that as well.
No, especially men. I think that's very good, especially men. Like so mostly women follow me, but also men. And it takes so much longer when I'm talking to men to work with me than it does with women. It's like so much faster because they're already
Mm,
like acknowledging their emotions and pain, and they want to grow and heal. And men, it's like they want it, but they're too afraid to take the action sometimes.
right. I think a lot of
Um,
it, at least for me, it was more like, if I seek for help, am I considered weak? Is it the right thing to do? Am I exposing my vulnerability to someone else type thing? I think those were the type of things that was going in my head before I was
yeah.
reaching out to you. Yeah.
Very valid points. And fear always keeps us like back from taking
Hmm.
action. So
Yeah.
being vulnerable is also is growth, but being vulnerable is also scary because yeah, you don't know who you're sharing it with, and is it the right person? And like sometimes we say in our minds that no, this cannot be fixed, we cannot be helped. Like, but the question is, if you don't try, then how would you know? Otherwise, you're gonna be stuck in the same rut, right? So it's always fear. I see it in all like people. It's like fear holding
Hmm.
them back. So that's why it does take courage to reach out. It does take courage to work with the fears, and actually just having that initial conversation as we were having over the DMs. We didn't even have the first call. We were just
Hmm.
talking, so like without like being so scared. We were just talking about some things and sharing some things, and then we went on the initial call, and and to see like is there any connection, can your challenges be helped or not, all those
Yeah.
things. So the first step is definitely acknowledging what you're feeling and that you want the change, and then
Hmm.
trying to find someone who can help you with it, and then
Another
just
thing,
try
uh,
casually. Yes, add
yeah,
on.
another thing I wanted to add on was, before reaching out to you, I've always been blocking or trying to avoid those feelings. And like you said, I never acknowledged those feelings. I was always trying to avoid it, like,
Hmm.
just like pass over and not really go through it because I didn't want to, I guess, go through the those experiences or those emotions again. I just wanted to pass over, close it, rub it, just push it under the rug. Did not want to think about it. And I think after working with you, working on acknowledging those feelings and making sure that I do the right things to get out of the situation, it actually helped a lot.
I'm really happy. So now it's been some time since we stopped working together. And
Mhm.
how's it going now? Like, are you still implementing some of the tools you got from the coaching?
Definitely. I've been going through a lot of changes in within my personal space in my home, and definitely I see a change in my mood, how I interact with the other members of my family, things of that sort. So definitely there's a change. I'm calmer now, and I'm able to focus more on the things I need to do. And once in a while, those feelings or those experiences come up, but I'm
Cool.
able to, just let them be and say things happened in the past, or just leave them there. And I'm focusing on what needs to be done to move forward for the future.
That's really good. And as I always say to prospects or clients and on Instagram, I always say like anxiety comes in waves. And as long as you have your base foundation in place and you have a toolkit, you can handle it. It would not hit
Mm,
you as hard as when you're suppressing things and not acknowledging why the anxiety is triggering you, because there's always a reason for anxiety. So it's, yeah, so first step is basically acknowledging it, what it is, being aware of it, and know how to heal from it, well, how to deal with it. So it will always come in waves, it will not fully go away, but we can learn how to minimize it and how to deal with it so we don't get panic attacks and stuff like that, which can be life threatening on the long run.
Yeah,
So yeah,
and definitely the neuro walks and your reinforcement of those. I think it
I love
definitely helped
that.
a lot. Yeah, it helped a lot, and I think it'll definitely benefit other clients as well. So yeah, I am practicing it, and I definitely feel than much better before I met you. So there is definitely a lot of progress.
Appreciate that, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. It's always a pleasure when yeah, when people take action. So sometimes I can get frustrated with clients when they're not taking action, they're procrastinating, and I get like, why do you procrastinate? But it's really nice when people actually take action, implement it, to see the changes, and be patient with it, because change takes time as well. And many
Right.
are like, I'm not seeing a change after a few sessions, and it's like, you've been miserable for like 20 years and you want change in like 3 sessions. That's not how it works. you know um
Uh,
so you have been very patient with me as well, like it's through the whole process. So it's been a pleasure to work with you, absolutely. And yeah, I
Absolutely.
wish you all the best.
I think I'm going to miss all the nudge for me getting on my tools to implement the tools from a NeuroWalks and things of that sort. But yeah, I it's been a pleasure as well. Likewise, personally, I think there is definitely a lot of change in my mood, and I can feel that. And it's been really great working with you. And I wish you
That's
all the
nice, and
best.
that's what
And
matters.
yeah, yeah, go ahead.
So I
Sorry.
just want to highlight that after doing the 3-month program, which is very specific, after that, it is possible to just buy sessions here and there to kind of maintain uh, what you
Mm,
say, your the mental health. Now
yeah.
I'm also doing groups, so I have people like who's done the program, but they're in the group because it's still benefiting them to work on their new self, basically.
Hmm.
And some have even got a new identity, and some had more things to work on. And so this is also a possibility, because we should all always work on ourselves, even with the
Consistent.
coach,
Yeah.
or yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
No, it definitely makes sense. Because this is not a one-time change. This
it's
needs to be
lifetime.
done on a regular basis. Yeah. So that definitely, I think those, I guess those sessions post the focus session will help to, it's just like doing a regular maintenance on your car. Right? You need to keep maintaining your
Exactly.
car to keep it working great. Like, yeah. So absolutely,
Yeah, so I coach, but I have my own coach as well, because I need it too, right? Because there's no difference between you and me. I need to also grow myself. So yeah,
absolutely, yeah.
yeah. With that said, thank you for your time, and I hope to see you again.
Right. Thank you, Farah. It was a great
Okay,
pleasure working with you, and all the best. Thank you.